Hey everybody, Robert Dinan, your Florida Realtor. I wanted to talk to you today about the 3 reasons why renting versus owning and your math might be a little bit different. It's common knowledge, that owning a home is cheaper than renting, at least in the long term. But anyone who's ever sat down and tried to figure out those numbers, it's a little bit harder than you may seem. So there's a lot of factors to consider. When you try to come to the real numbers, I've outlined basically 3 ways for rent versus buy math and how your math might be wrong and how to straighten those things out and give you the best picture possible. With keeping these details in mind, and you'll have a much better and clearer vision on the path of what's right for you in regards to renting versus owning. When most people are looking at owning versus renting, they're only looking at what? That mortgage payment and that mortgage calculator, right? That we find online, where we're gonna be with our monthly payments. And you find out most times that owning is a lot less than renting. But unfortunately, that only tells part of the story for us and only accounts for really the mortgage payment. So in addition to the loan payment, homeowners need to account for a few other supplemental costs, right? So we're talking about property insurance and property taxes. So be sure to include these other things in that estimate you're trying to come up with. To estimate property taxes, you can take the property taxes and the percentage in that area on where you're living and multiply that by the potential property you're looking to buy. Whatever that property costs, look at it that way. For homeowners insurance, the Federal Reserve Bureau estimates premiums typically fall between $300 and $1,000 annually. So in addition to the loan payment, homeowners need to account for supplemental costs like their homeowners insurance and property taxes. And be aware, homeowner insurance for different areas, especially you need to look at too when doing your accounting. But you also need to account for closing costs, and that term closing cost simply refers to fees that are incurred during the buying process. They're unique to each sale, and things could include costs such as inspections, appraisals, costs of running title searches, and association fees. These costs are paid at settlement and typically add up to a few $1,000s. So there absolutely should be accounted for in your home buying budget. For instance, if you expect to stay in your future home for around 5 years before you outgrow it or take off to a different place or city, add 1/5 of the closing costs to your annual expenses when considering whether renting or buying ends up being less expensive. Luckily, there are a few ways to cut down some of these costs. While some of these fees are fixed according to the home sale regulations in your areas, especially here in Florida, others are negotiable. Obviously, you're gonna try your best to buy when mortgage interest rates are low and do your research with the right professionals in regards to your mortgage loan rep and find out what kind of fees that they offer you. And during that time, you're gonna negotiate your sale of the property to cover a portion of those expenses that may be in exchange for a higher sale price on the property. You'll receive new benefits, too, as well when purchasing a home, like new tax benefits. Don't forget that becoming a homeowner can significantly impact your tax return, especially in the first year of ownership. You'll qualify for quite a few additional deductions. Since each deduction comes with its own stipulations, it's important to do your own research and see if you qualify for some of these tax breaks. The few most common are a portion of your mortgage interest up to $750,000, a portion of the points or fees on the loan can be deducted, portions of the home improvement costs, and obviously the home equity loans that you may have, a portion of your state and local property taxes up to $10,000. A new tax bill has also cut the deduction of moving expenses and tightened up some of the deductions on interest loans on home equity loan products. Again, be sure you do your prep work. Be sure you're working with professionals. Be sure when you're working at tax time in your first year after your buy, you consult that tax professional and know you're getting the most deductions that you can take. While you're still putting a lot of money up out front, you can see a good portion of it coming back to you with a great tax return. Any questions on this, or you're looking to purchase, invest in the state of sunny Florida, please reach out to me, Robert Dinan, your Florida Realtor. I'm here to help.